In the top right-hand side of the map, our blue Zerg player is Solar, representing Onsyde Gaming. Taking on the red Zerg player in the bottom left from Kaizi, it is Raynor. Worth mentioning, of course, Kaizi Gaming was Solar's team for a long time. I really mean a long time as well. Like, I'm trying to think how long exactly it was. It was a long time though. I mean, multiple years. Solar was with Kaizi. He won one of these championships with Kaizi Gaming, one of these team leagues. So, yeah, I mean, kind of a bit of a revenge match for Solar. This is the first time he'll represent a team other than Kaizi Gaming in the last few seasons. For the first time he ever plays against Kaizi Gaming. So, yeah, Solar playing against his old team now. And, yeah, they just didn't renew his contract. He got picked up by Onsyde Gaming pretty quickly after. Six lings producing for the moment, 8 lings. Both went pool first, and obviously Solar quite aggressive on the pool first with that very early pool of his own. What? Hatch cancels Spine Crawl on the natural? Wow, that is pretty unique. Okay, Solar. Okay, now I'm interested because Reynor went kind of a pretty good counter against this in general with the pool first of his own. But Solar's going to have the Spine Crawler where Reynor will not expect it, so that probably will come online. That is a little bit wild. That is a little bit interesting. Ling's just going to come in and just going to start to nip at this hatchery initially. So Hatch taking some damage. And drones get pulled in. Like I said, there's a spine here. I mean, I guess it will help you to kill this base, but is that enough if you kill this base? Because obviously this was a drone investment, plus the spine, plus the cancelling of the hatchery. So this was a very expensive spine crawler. Cancelling a hatch here, I mean, killing a hatch is 300 minerals, but I feel like this spine costs 175 because of the cancel. You know, it's expensive, especially if you don't get this base. Now, he has killed a few more units with it. I think right now, Reynor is going to get a defense on this. I think this is just Solar realizing that he's probably not really had... Well, does he have a defense on this? He actually lost a lot of drones. Wow. Reynor taking his hand off the keyboard as well there for a moment. And oh my goodness, has this actually worked? I mean, if nothing else, I mean, Solar's in a worker lead now. But I actually thought that was a good fight for Reynor. I thought it was just before the hatchery was going down. He fights. It looked like the spine wasn't going to last much longer. But it actually turned out really well for Solar. I'm actually surprised by how good it was for Solar. That is... very interesting. Queen comes in, Ling's gonna get pushed back a little bit. A few drones still coming up here from Reynor. I'm just gonna see those Lings going after a drone. A couple of Lings starting to be caught. Turning back around, the Lings fighting each other, and just gonna be seeing the Queen going after those other Lings. Doing what they can. Alright, well, counterattack from Reynor doesn't do much. 3 workers behind, bit of army supply behind. Obviously the hatcheries both up for, from both the players now. Solar's natural will be healthier than Reynor's, though, so that's something Reynor has to be cautious of. If he comes under attack, he can't just let the hatchery tank damage for a while because, yeah, it will die very quickly. So Solar really comes out of this in a very good spot. There's one Ling being annoying just by continuously scouting, but other than that, yeah, I feel like Solar's got to feel good about this. I wonder what Solar does about the later Ling speed. Wonder if he just goes straight to roaches or what the plan may be. Ling moving around, just going to be seeing our roach roaring. Coming through our evolution chamber. Coming in as well, just at the front. It's going to be seeing our queen dropping down as well, springing all of this through. It's going to be seeing a hatchery building on the third base from Reynor as well. So third hatch on the way up. Paneling nest now producing as well. It's going to be seeing that Ling speed of Reynor about to be finished. We'll see if I mean, there's going to be a full wall off from Solar, and he does just say, cool, yeah, I'm just going to wall myself in, play roaches, take a later third hatchery, but I'll have the roach tech much quicker. Oh, that's absolutely fine. That's something you can absolutely do here. Fnatic SC2, thank you so much for the 31-month resub on the Prime. How you doing? Thanks so much, and welcome back. Thank you for supporting the stream today with that Prime sub. Much appreciated. Very much indeed. So we're going to get the third hatchery finally started off to the right side, obviously. Maybe one of the concerns was, when is he actually going to be able to get that down? Was it becoming concerning? I wouldn't say it was becoming too concerning. It was seeming pretty reasonable still. Let's see, when you're playing these roaches, you are just going to take the third hatch later, and you kind of use this time now when you would be, you know, capped on drones on 2 bases, just build that set of roaches, and then with these roaches you can be a bit aggressive and you can try and get stuff done after protecting the third hatchery, so it times out nicely with the upgrades. And yeah, Solar, I mean, right now his army supply is booming, but remember that is roaches versus lings, and Raynor is starting to stack up some money to build his own roaches, so his own army supply will bounce back very quickly here, or at least it should bounce back pretty quickly here. Few seconds away from missiles upgrade finishing. The roach speed completing now too. He's coming forward to grab a couple of lings. And these roaches will go en masse running forward here. Got to jump on top of a few of these drones. A lot of roaches going down. Queen's now being picked away at as well. So here we are. Does Reynor have the defense he needs here on this time? And was Solar just too far ahead all along? I mean, already having to pull drones isn't pretty. And I mean, it buys him a bit of time, but clearly not enough. His roaches are still in trouble, and Solar is going to have the first game needed to at least guarantee Onsyde Gaming the ace match today. Very good start as Solar going to take that W, and that is going to be a map win for him. So yeah. Big one against Solar. Weird opening as well, and makes it work too. And it didn't really look like it was going to work straight away. It figures it all, by the way. You know, time against Neeb next is definitely up in the air as well, so Raynor just needs to win this map, do what he can. Still not really popping off this season. I think it's really fair to say, you know, he's continued to have just a string of 1-1 results. This would be another if he does bring it back. He's just not quite being the full powerhouse that Kaizi would usually want of him, right? Considering now especially he's the real... he really is kind of the ace of the team, and I guess he was last season too. Solar was obviously his teammate then, but with Solar leaving the team, Kaizi definitely took a little bit of a dip in skill, so it definitely came a bit more down to Reynor to at least pull his weight and more every single series, and it's just not quite been like that so far this season. Let's see, like I say, if he can take this map, he's not been too old this season though, Raynor. Like I'm talking about it as though it's been a disaster. It really hasn't been disasterful or anything along those lines. It's just, it's not quite the performance or the set of results we'd expect from someone like Raynor, because Raynor's just so good in and of himself, right? That's what I'm saying. Raynor is so good. We expect Raynor to do extremely well every single time. When he does just go 1-1, it almost is a disappointment. He's being criticized because of his own usual success, right? There's going to be no funky stuff early, though. Hatch, cast, and pool here this time around, so very regular, in fact, to start us off with this time. We'll just get into the other side. We'll be confirming there is indeed hatchery firsts in play. No one's really doing anything too out of the ordinary. All of that being confirmed so far, at least. Couple lanes just continuing to adventure around. Obviously early game map control and some vision is always quite nice. Link speed coming up on both sides. Link's coming through. Carapace starting up on the side of Solar, and just going to be seeing that Baneling Nest is coming through from Raynor. So a little bit Carapace fun from Solar. Going to be quite active with the Ling Bane for a while here. Something to absolutely note. Tron coming through as well. It's very possible Solar maybe even displays kind of a Roach Ling kind of Carapace timing. Try and get very aggressive here. Reynolds is building a lot of Ling Bane defensively, maybe even can take it across the map a bit as well. Sorry, I thought the Balins were morphing defensively. They're actually morphing way more aggressively than I thought. A couple Lings come through and Baneling will get taken down. Lings coming through, fighting off the Lings of Solar off on the right-hand side. They get chased away. You can see these few Banes Lings continuing up to the top side. 18 more Zerglings continuing through from Raynor as well. I'm just going to be seeing him flooding up to the top. This hatchery will be under some fire. Raynor's going to find himself a hatchery kill. This is amazing. I mean, a hatchery kill this early is great. Slows down a lot of the production that Solar would like to have. Instantly goes to rebuild, and it Reynolds starting up his own missile upgrade. He's looking again to his own roaches. He's away off the roach roaring. Right now, hoping that these Lings can keep him going as he is up 7 workers. He fights now, even though he's not in a great army supply, because he wants to take down some of these roaches while they're easily surroundable. So, just trying to take advantage of what was there and ready to fight. And some of those roaches now seriously hurt will struggle to get properly into a fight in the near future, I'd imagine. As we see our Lings coming across, I'm going to go in after a few drones. The other Lings of Solar coming around, seeing what they can do. Queen is going to find the Zergling there, so we're going to be able to grab that, and just going to be seeing the other Lings coming around, the roaches too. All of that getting set up, and just going to be seeing our roaches, our +1 missiles, all of that coming in for now. So continuing to get this underway. As you will see, Solar. A lot of Lings still continuing by. And just going to be seeing +1 missiles so close for Raynor. I mean, that's the thing for Raynor, +1 missiles is really nice. And when you have missiles versus Carapace, that actually helps out more when it comes to Roach versus Roach. So it's very possible you can win a Roach fight here. Even if they have 1 upgrade each, that might be something that trends in his favor ever so slightly. Lings trying to roll in toward each other. The best of their ability. Not really doing too well for the most part. Just going to be seeing Reynor's supply lead continuing to advance. Just coming better and better into his favor, right? Just getting more and more so going for himself. The extra Banes will begin to morph in. And here we come with Reynor hitting a bit of a timing here. Solar has kind of overdrone for this, as we do not really see any preparation for this at all. He has no Lings of his own as well, which is really tough. Because it means that without Lings, he's not going to be able to protect his own roaches, and it looks like Reynor is very likely to keep this series in play for Kaizi Gaming. By winning this, he is going to be able to give his team a chance to at least fight for an ace match. And yeah, I mean, drones getting blown up as they pull away, but the numbers are just there for Reynor, they're not for Solar. Now he loses his Roach Roaring too, so Solar's going to severely struggle with the reinforcements of Reynor. He finishes the +1 missiles now. Is that enough to clean up this first wave? Even if he cleans up this first wave, I feel like he struggles a lot. Just after, with everything else continuing over. I think Reynor probably has this one locked up and put away in these next few moments. Corrosive Bile landing a little bit as well. Extra roaches coming over. And just looking to smash on through. Clearing out pretty much everything. think, guys, that's just about maybe a hold from Solar. Like, he pushes this back for a moment or two, but again, even if you are holding here, and I say that with, like, quotation marks around it, right? It's like, are you really? The drone can't be equalized. Reynor has so many more units. Solar's on his way to Aspire, which I appreciate. It's like a last-ditched effort. He's got the lair. He's trying to make use of it in some way. He's not going to win this fight purely on roaches, but maybe if he gets Aspire up and he's also able to somehow hold on, then yeah, maybe he can get back in the game. The problem is if he just holds on, it's not enough. So he needs to hold on and do more from there as well. GG's, and that is going to be Reynor tying up against Solar and keeps this series alive at least. Wow, they really are. Okay. Alright, they're just going to dive into the game. I guess we'll dive into the game as well, guys, and see what happens. And you do have Neeb in the top left-hand side from Onsyde Gaming. In the top right-hand side, red Terran player is going to be Time. I guess just replying quickly to someone about something. Let's see what happens here. Time and Neeb, I think, is a very fun match. Very evenly matched. This is going to be CNAP Probe, Niblin. SCV. Getting nabbed right now. Jay, welcome Penguin as well, by the way. Thank you so much for the 43-month resub in the Prime. Hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for the Prime sub. I really do appreciate it. Again, guys, because of a little bit of an extra round of ads we'll be running this month, we will be taking, instead of just $1 per subscription into tournament prize pools, we'll be taking 100% of subscription money raised this month and putting it in towards a prize pool for the WardiTV 2022. So if you would like to support fully tournament-wise, you can do so with that, well, with any kind of sub, basically. And like I say, we'll give you ad-free viewing, which I would recommend more than ever this month, if you can afford to, if you've got a Prime sub to use it. I'd say check it out. Like I say, 100% will go into the pockets of players. So do check that out, as we do have the couple of Reapers going to come darting on by. The little Reaper grenade is good. We already saw Time successfully getting a kill before, and he's going to lose one Reaper. We're going to lose the other, I think. Oh, no, he's not. I actually did think he was going to lose the other. He got another probe, though. He's actually getting a lot of probe kills early. Some very good damage being dealt in these early stages, and now going to get rid of maybe more. This Hellion's going to take a while to be gotten rid of. There's a lot of one-hittable probes. See if we can just get the right line of shots. Okay, well, the Reaper's going to come in and just go and finish them off. Neeb's having a nightmare. Apparently, they forgot to host this one with Game Heart, so... Man, this was a whole bunch of probes. I was going to say, I didn't even count how many, but 8 go down. That is quite the loss early in this game. That is absolutely brutal. Well, Phoenix coming out as well. I mean, especially when you're playing Phoenix, there's always going to be that timing where Phoenix are, like, very good defensively, so you can get away because the follow-up timing can't be as strong because they didn't do as much damage because the Phoenix kept you safe. Phoenix, in this scenario, I feel like are not going to have the support to deal with a push of Time, and that's exactly what Time's going to start doing, moving onto the map. Let's see. This could be a very quick game, honestly. Find out very soon. Tired Universe, thank you so much for the 9 months. I don't want to support Wardy. I know, it's the perfect chance to actually subscribe to the channel and then not to actually be supporting me. Just support StarCraft, which everyone can get behind, right? 200 IQ. Alright, Cyclone the Viking then going to get a lock onto a Phoenix. That's a kill, I want to say. Oh, he lost vision. I thought he might have had it just that extra shot. Okay, the adapters are going to get here. Is this going to be enough? Cyclones like onto the couple of Phoenixes. One Phoenix that's low that drops the other Cyclone. We're going to get this Cyclone dropped off again. We just don't quite have the Marine firepower to really stand up strong here. We do get a lock onto that Stalker. The Cyclone over there is actually doing very well against the couple of Adepts that have stuck behind. Finally goes down, but honestly, Neeb gets massacred overall. His army supply has dropped heavily as this Cyclone wants to fight for that lock-on, gets it. Will start to drain the battery energy now. Liberator showing up as well. Yeah, the problem is Time just killed so much of Neeb here, right? I mean, Neeb lost all of his Phoenix. He's lost a lot of his Stalks, lost all of his initial Adepts. Yeah, I mean, for Neeb, that's just a huge expense. Now he's getting an Immortal on the way. We are going to have a Super Battery activating to save this Pylon and now this Phoenix. And Time would be smart to probably take a moment to back away and to, well, just get away from the battery for a second or two. Are we actually going to get rid of the Liberator? Yes, we are. That's a good little win as we're going to get back onto this Pylon. Can we stop this before the Robo Facility finishes the Immortal? That would be the main goal here, right? Yep, shut down the Immortal. That's going to be allowing you to keep on going with pressure for a little while longer. This handful of Marines are getting so many probes again. The Phoenix lifting up the Viking, but man, the Marines are really the damage dealers at the moment. And now they're going to start target firing down a Phoenix. The Phoenix is low. We actually start going after the Stalker. The Phoenix goes down. Oh my goodness, Time is just finding absolutely everything. A tank about to show up, but does he even want to siege it in this situation? He's also lost a lot, in fairness, but, you know, so it's not like he has like a ton of units right here and right now, but yeah, I feel like he's obviously taken enough down with him to be okay with it. There's question marks as to whether he really wanted to turn around right there. I think it was smart to leave because obviously the Immortal was still popping out and coming through. Just gonna have a Phoenix flopping by. Just gonna go and check out the main base a little bit. Stalker and the Immortal will go and hang out on the watchtower and obviously keep a bit of vision up. Worker count's been very similar here. It's obviously very favorable to Time because he'll have double mule as well. And Neeb's third base is obviously definitely not quick. It's definitely on the later end of things. So definitely not ideal in that regard at all. As tanks will siege up over here. A few Marines getting set as well. And Time, I really feel like should be feeling good about this. I mean, he probably wants to wait until upgrades done before he pushes again. We'll see what he can do when he pushes again. I'm intrigued by this base expansion of Neeb as well. He's taking the forward base, which to me is one of the easier ones to get up and on top of as the Terran player. I feel like that might complicate things slightly as well. We have a couple different... And I guess let's see how it goes. It also just feels like from there you can jump into the main base very easily. And it's not like the Phoenix count was outstanding. Although now we've got double Stargates in play, so we're actually building up 2 Phoenix at a time. So I guess very soon we will have a pretty good Phoenix count. Yeah, I mean, then I guess maybe the drop play isn't as scary. The tanks definitely are, though, and if the tanks can get in good position, there is definitely going to be some problems. And obviously, if you're going Colossi, tanks are very good against Colossi initially because they can target fire the Colossi down in moments. I guess maybe the idea of Neeb is it's difficult for Time to get across this initial bridge, which it definitely is. Phoenix lift up one of the tanks. It'll get knocked down by the Marines. As we're going to be seeing lifts going off. We're trying to get rid of the Marines, the Phoenix, so that the tanks can continue to fire. It's actually been a pretty reasonable fight from Neeb, almost as though Time, I want to say it went too soon, but I guess it's just the choke point, right, is actually causing a lot of problems. One more lift, and that's all you need to keep these Colossi safe enough to finish off the siege tanks. The Colossi really pulled their weight there. They did a lot of damage. That narrow choke point really helping. Maybe that really was just the idea behind taking this base in particular. Because this is not just like a short choke point, it's like quite a lengthy choke point, right? Where like usually the Terran would just like siege just behind the choke point with the tanks and then like push through and pull back into it, etc. That's very difficult to do as well. We're going to go diving onto these units. We're going to find the Colossus, lifts up, drops back down. He loses both the medevacs. He's still diving forward with a few Marauders and Marine. He's going to get the other Colossus. Now he's going to go for the Disruptor. He will have it. Oh my goodness, Time was not done. And he, with this follow-up attack, is doing fantastic. A super battery on the Stalker saves it for a while, but not long enough. And now the Phoenix are under fire yet again. We actually do not have the damage output to quite kill those off because of the super battery, but that's now fading, so we should be able to start really breaking through. And Time is right on top of this base. I got interrupted. But I guess what I just wanted to say was it was difficult for the tanks to all support each other easily with the kind of length of choke that you had to run through. But yeah, I mean, just continuing across, time is going to look wonderful anyways, and he is going to find the W here. And time, guys, I don't know, like, I'm just so convinced it was about to start. They were so quick to get into the first game of this Neeb time match. I don't know what took so long, but yeah. I'm always like, it's about to begin, so I'm not going to press the skip button anymore. And I'm like, well, I may as well just go and press it, you know? Like, will it really do any harm? Sorry, guys. This is me just being a bit silly. All right, top right side, Neeb, our Red Pro displayer, repping Onsyde Gaming here today. Bottom left in the blue from Kaizi Gaming, of course, it's time. Apparently, we already did his intro, and I just didn't see it or pay attention to it. My apologies. I am sorry. Alright, so an SCV moving up into the natural expansion here. Just we'll check to see what's going on. Drop an engineering bay down. Being a little bit annoying early time trying to dictate the pacing of the game. I always feel like when you take that engineering bay block, it is... Yeah, when you're hitting that engineering bay block, it's always like you do want to control the game. You want to say what the pros player can and cannot do, and it just makes them kind of play your game a bit more. Well, that's going to be seeing Neeb opting to take the third base location out as his natural expansion. The probe will pull around to the side of the bunker and start to nibble at this SCV, so a little bit of damage being done, just chipping our way through that in these early stages. Chip, chip, nibble, nibble, work our way through. Got the SCV hurt a little bit there early on, as we do have our Marine showing up and just coming in to fight. Obviously, bunker doesn't finish though, so Marine has nowhere to hide. It will have to run. That's going to be seeing the Adept shading back around once again. So we're just going to go pinging away onto the engineering bay on the natural. So go get a couple shots off, try and get some damage done. And just going to be seeing our Adept being very annoying in general as well, right? Just trying to cause some chaos here in the early stages. The couple of Hellions will come out to try and chase this down, try and push this back. Two Stalkers together are going to go pinging away at the engineering bay then on the natural, and that natural expansion is just going to be cleared up soon, and that means once you can take the natural, it's an easy third base location because you're already defending the actual third base. So yeah, it's just very easy to go up to 3 bases essentially if you've not then taken damage early, which so far has not really happened at all. Defense has been fine from Neeb. I was interested in how Neeb is doing right now, right? Because with him starting studying again and stuff, it's definitely a question mark how much he's been able to play, how much he's feeling it. You know, some players really thrive in those situations. Some people, you know, really do kind of show the effects of kind of studying and not playing as much anymore. That's not good. Uh-oh. These Hellions just drove straight into the main base. No sort of fancy play needed at all. Somehow we avoid a surround as Neeb, and he really does get away lightly, I would say. 9 probes only actually seems... Wow, yeah, I mean, I would say only 9 probes is very, It's very lucky. I mean, I felt like it could have been so much worse because there was nothing in the main once he'd gotten by initially. Okay, well, that is actually like a saving grace from Neeb, because if he'd taken more damage than that, it would have been kind of rough. Stalkers and Neeb coming around this left-hand side. Maybe the chance to poke up into the natural expansion, poke away at the bunker. You have Blink finishing, obviously, chance to jump into the main base as well if you want to harass. So those options really are there. And Stalker's just blinking back down to the low ground and again finding little pieces of opportunity. Like I say, as Neeb, he did still take some damage early. Don't get me wrong, 9 probes is still fantastic damage. I'm not trying to say that Neeb is like absolutely great in this game because he only took 9 probes of damage. 9 probes is still a lot. It just could have been more than the 9. So Neeb is definitely still struggling. Would love to get any damage he can. He's down by 6 workers, which again, when the Terran has mules, really is quite painful. So you can see Neeb just a ton of gates, charge on the way in a prism. Would not be surprised if Neeb tried to just send it with a surge of units, trying to catch, just time a little bit off guard because time maybe doesn't expect quite that many units quite so quickly. Maybe he's just moving out himself to try and take advantage of what was a good initial attack. And, Neeb is going to be cutting a lot of his other tech here, right? I mean, he's not mining too much gas. He's not going to be really teching up too much else, I would imagine. 43 probes. He is building probes. I think he realizes that he can't just rely on that. Maybe he actually just goes mass cell warping in the main base even. Just a massive counterattack the moment that time is attempting to move across. Could be a way to get some good damage done to keep himself safe as well. Hallucination still out in the center. Marauder will see it just quickly there, and our Marines trying to get rid of that hallucinated Phoenix doesn't quite manage it. A couple Marines get rid of the hallucination on the natural as our prism unloads into the main. These Zealots start to go in after SCVs. 3 SCVs going down then, and just going to be seeing our Bioforce coming through as well. Widow Mine's going off in a couple of these Zealots. The extra SCVs will be pulling in. I'm just going to be seeing a bit of Marine Marauder action still coming through as well. Well, Neeb has to defend at home, but if he can defend at home while doing great damage in the main, he's going to be in a great spot. The Tanks Now Siege will start to put a bit more pressure on Neeb, and maybe will allow time to really get something done as he's finally up this ramp. Neeb bought a lot of time before this ramp was opened up. The force fields were fantastic, as it bought him enough time, though. The third base is dropping quickly. Definitely it doesn't seem ideal. As I just realized, by the way, the player names on the production tab are the wrong way around. So when I'm saying that Neeb was like behind a bunch of workers, he was actually ahead of a bunch of... Yeah, they've realized it too. Yeah, they've literally just realized it. I just realized it now as well with the +1 attack upgrade being there. That's slightly bad, so that maybe shows you kind of the situation we were in. I was going to say, I was surprised that Neeb was so low on workers earlier. Like, I was like, 9 probes is a lot, but like, I don't feel like he should be behind by 6. I was like... Yeah, I was like I was so surprised to see that. I was like, okay, I guess maybe I'm just misreading this, but yeah, okay. I'm glad my spider sensors told me something was up. I just didn't realize what it exactly was. Yeah, they just used their own overlay on top of the actual overlay for like player names and their teams and stuff. And obviously they had it the wrong way around, so slightly awkward. Not the end of the world. Anyways, so coming out of this, time is pushed back. He is moving into a third base. We do see Neeb. Reasonable work account. I still feel like he's missing a lot of the tech because he was so focused on just masses of units initially and being able to create a counterattack like this one, right? This game will go on for a little bit at least, as a whole bunch of extra Zealots are now underway. Our Bioforce dropping into the main is going to find a massive pylon, denying 4 gateways of production for a while. Oh, this drop in the main actually might be very difficult for Neeb to deal with, because it's all choked up as well, and he's mostly on Zealots right now, and the Widow Mines are going to feast on those Zealots. Oh, we're even going to recall back into the main. Whatever that recall was for, it doesn't go off. Now the Widow Mines have reburrowed again. They hit a whole section of different things. And also, this is no upgrades on the Protoss army versus +1 attack from our Terran, who gets rid of the Immortal now. It was already damaged by a mine, so no barrier, no shields. We lift, we leave. And I think that time is very happy with this trade out, really reducing the Zealot numbers, and all this time as well without those gateways able to warp in. You can already see Neeb stacking money because he's missing production cycles due to those gateways being depowered. Medevac's pulled back through the south side. Just going to see a few additional Zords popping in. A battery will go down as well, just near the main. And the Nexus dropping down on the side of Neebs. Again, that's set up as well. A couple additional probes all being brought out right now. As our Bioforce of time goes back to the middle. And we'll keep the pressure up. 20 supply lead from here. Now he does actually have a worker lead. And I think that, of course, is going to be rather notable. A worker lead for time that he can really use to his favor. And got that work. Army supply looking good. Still some Zealot counterattacks, though, coming across. And that's the exact kind of thing you do need. See some Widow Mines going off. A couple of Zealots getting blown up. So let's see again, kind of cuddled a little bit and just going to have our Bioforce taking a few steps back. In the end, time is just going to overwhelm and Neeb will not have the numbers, which means that we are going to an ace match. Yes, we are. I don't know if that's necessarily true either, to be honest. Alright, bottom right-hand side, our Maru. Our Maru? Okay, it's just our Maru. He's a thing of his own when it comes to TVT. He doesn't even get our Terran or whatever. No, he's just our Maru. Top left-hand side, our red Terran play here is time as we enter the ace match between Kaizi Gaming and Onsyde Gaming here today. Yep, not gonna lie. Kind of got excited when I got to the ace because I was almost convinced we were going to see Maru Raynor, but maybe, honestly, I'm going to blame WTL for them having a Terran-y map. Because I reckon if this was a, I bet you guys, if this was like a TVZ on like a tropical, or like if it was on Tropical Sacrifice or something, we probably would have seen Raynor, you know? That's what I reckon. That's what I reckon. Alright, guys, so a couple of racks on the way from Maru, so he's already playing kind of a safer opening. The 2 racks in base is very much so I'll get a few Reapers out. I will, you know, build into a point where I've got a few Reapers. They're able to kind of get a little bit active. They're able to do a bit of action. It keeps me very safe in case you try to 2-racks me. And it has the potential to just end the game if I out-micro you as well. So that's the kind of route that Maru will begin to take here to start us out. And in the meantime, time is just going to be building a Reaper of his own, a single racks from him, and a late scout from time as well, so he doesn't know, and he's actually going single gas, which for Maru is kind of good. A shame that it's not on the low ground, this expansion, because if it was on the low ground, the 2 racks Reaper in base probably has a very good time here, being able to slow that down a lot. We'll see if it can still do a little bit of work here, even if it has to hop up to the high ground most of the time. I still think there'll be an opportunity for Maru, so we'll be watching out for that. Maybe you've seen our Reaper coming around the right side. And getting set up. And it's a factory proxied from Maru as well. Wow, okay. Maru says 1 gas? Nah. So he's going to proxy, I imagine, the starport as well and just go with a little bit of everything here to really apply some pressure. So that's going to be quite fun. Let's see how Maru can continue to do then as this factory comes online. Straight to a tech lab. Yep, starport on the way. I mean, you just build tech units here, and it's going to be very difficult for time to defend because his tech will just be later. He's being that little bit greedier, especially with the Reaper support as well. It's going to be a very interesting few minutes of this game, with time having to defend against this. Game 7 ace match, and Maru pulling out all of the stops to be aggressive. Well, we're definitely not going to get a boring slow TVT, that's for sure. Time is completely blind to it, has no idea about this, as a Lone Reaper doesn't even go up, just, oh my goodness, ventures forward, actually gets a good shot of his own off, and uh-oh, is time in a little bit of trouble here, maybe. All the Reapers have taken damage, and now he's going to start losing SCVs. He defensively grenade, the SCVs taking more shots, really good grenades, because they're keeping the units back from time, so time can't really get in range. The Cyclone pops out, Maru's already leaving, and Maru is actually heading into his, well, he's got a tank. He's going medevac now, which will provide high ground vision and dropping potential. And he's just going to start sieging up at the front and starting to deal even more damage to time and putting time in like I say, just a very awkward, difficult position. This is going to be a really weird one to work your way out of. We do just start to pick our way through that orbital command, so a bit of damage being dealt, and just going to be seeing the SCV coming forward. Gets picked off. The Hellion there. Hellion for the moment is actually going to be okay. The Cyclone's getting dropped on top of, though, and yeah, okay. The tank there from Maru is so low. The Banshee shows up. The Banshee's actually kind of an interesting one, because the Banshee can, in theory, clean this up until the Marines and the Cyclone are there. And so Maru has an answer even to the Banshee, which isn't something I feel like you should expect to play against in that situation. We're going to try and repair this siege tank here. Maru's going to pop a few SCVs with the grenades. Finally lifts off. I feel like could just drop the Viking and Cyclone on top of the siege tank, and we'll probably be able to get the kill, though. There's also probably fairly content just camping the other production structures for the moment. I mean, this starport is on its way down, and this Banshee isn't going to get very far. Viking and the Cyclone sat right here. He's going to see the tank on siege, and the Cyclone gets a lock on. The Banshee will go for the Cyclone, but the Vikings will get too many shots on it, with the second Viking showing up as well. Especially, we dive on top of the siege tank as well. The Vikings can land, and I think this is absolutely Maru with the W here in this game, and with the Game 7, the ace match will go his way. And Maru will get the GG well played out of time. This is indeed going to go Maru's way. So Maru with the victory, getting the W. I wonder, okay, here's my new theory, guys. I wonder if this is also an availability thing, because a lot of these games were actually played ahead of time from